Child of God, do you have the Holy Spirit? Or do you fake the Holy Spirit? Do you fake His presence? Do you fake tongues? Do you do physical maneuvers to prove a point when He's not there? Or do you fake dreams? Are you among those that fake false miracles to prove a point that the Holy Spirit is working? I want to give you peace in your heart. You can still have the Holy Spirit without charismatic maneuvers. You can have the Holy Spirit without faking miracles. And you can still have the Holy Spirit without faking tongues. All of those are good. Miracles are good for proof. Tongues are good for proof. Physical maneuvers and shaking can also be there when the Holy Spirit is in place. But they shouldn't drive a believer to falsify and fake the presence of the Holy Spirit. The largest gift or the greatest gift the Holy Spirit provides to a believer is the gift of holiness. Receiving Christ in us and forsaking sin. The Holy Spirit purges us and introduces us in us a constant, which constant is the holiness, the righteousness of Christ that we receive by imputation. Imputation simply means receiving the righteousness of Christ in us that is put on our accounts simply because we have believed on His name and we have the Spirit in us. The Holy Spirit produces fruit once He is in a believer. And the fruit the Holy Spirit produces is an assurance that one has the Holy Spirit. In Galatians chapter 5, verses 21, the Bible is very clear about the fruit of the Holy Spirit. It is in love, patience, kindness, godliness. Above all, when you have those, it does not require you to do physical maneuvers to prove a point. I want to say to believers who don't experience physical manifestations of the Holy Spirit that you still have Him once you have received the message of righteousness of God by faith from the true teachers of the gospel or from a revelation of Christ Himself. Galatians 5:21. I would like to invite the viewer to read with me this verse. Galatians chapter 5, let's begin from verses 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, agapeo. You feel you have your God, you love Him above all, and your neighbor or your friend. Joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those characters of the Holy Spirit explain the fruit of the Spirit. And that's what you need largely for heaven. You have the Spirit, you have the fruit. It may not need charismatic maneuvers or charismatic experiences, physical experiences, where one would want to charm matter as a bird, maybe speaking in tongues to prove a point. Or during sessions of prayer, you go into groanings, shaking and waggling to prove a point. It may be more flesh than spirit when you force yourself into those maneuvers. If the Holy Spirit takes you there, blessings to you. If you take yourself there without him, then you are doing a comedy show in gospel or in spiritual matters. When you go into prayers and you squeeze, you roll, or you do things to prove a point, if it's not the making of the Holy Spirit, you are beating in the air. You can still have the Holy Spirit without physical maneuvers. In the book of Acts chapter 4 verse 31, it is true, believers prayed and the place where the weight could shake, it shook, and they were filled with the Holy Spirit. But it was not sufficient enough to think that whenever believers pray, therefore there should be shaking in the environment. And it's not true that whenever you have the Holy Spirit, you are supposed to dream dreams. You may have the Holy Spirit and dream dreams once in a while. Therefore, as a servant of God, as a believer, don't fake dreams. Jeremiah 23:35 says that he's tired of prophets and he's tired of people who say that they've dreamt a dream, yet they have not made any dream. They falsify dreams and say God is talking, yet God is not talking. Child of God, even without dreams, you can have the Holy Spirit. Even without tongues, you can still have the Holy Spirit. All those are gifts that can be provided to a believer abundantly by God's wish. So don't force shaking, don't force groanings, don't force tongues, don't force dreams, don't force miracles, and even do false miracles, hoping that it's the Holy Spirit. Child of God, let's believe that by yielding the fruit of God, it is sufficient enough to have a proof that you have the Holy Spirit, who is your mark, who is your guarantee, who is your sure deal, and a pure stamp for heaven and for your living here. We present the Holy Spirit well, it will be a glorious matter in the heavenly courts. May God bless you as you ponder on representing the Holy Spirit, proper and thorough.